worse as the night goes on. Good evening and thanks for joining us for 11 at 11. I'm Holden Kurwicki. As we come on air tonight, Louisville Metro is issuing a flash flood emergency right now. Across the area and surrounding areas are under a tornado watch. We have full team coverage here at 11, bringing you the latest on those high waters and severe weather. Our Dennis Ting is live downtown, monitoring those flash floods. At first, meteorologist Jared Heil tracking a rare flash flood emergency that was issued for the metro area. Jared, what's that mean?
That is the step above a flash flood warning that is only issued when the Weather Service has seen reports of numerous water rescues and there's more rain coming into an area that is seeing widespread flooding. So for all of the metro, southern Clark, much of Floyd, northern Bullitt County, a flash flood emergency is in effect. That means just stay away from flooded areas as always, and it's best not to travel in the metro right now. In addition, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings for the metro and south to E-Town for wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles an hour. Same story, parts of Hart County for big storms coming out of Bowling Green that were tornadic just a bit ago. Flash flood warnings for much of Kentuckiana in that darker shade of green along 71, 64, of course, including Louisville, and then off to the southwest from Litchfield, Hardinsburg into Brandenburg. Finally here, let's get to the tornado watch. That's for the parkways and south. That goes until 3 a.m. Here's Max HG radar. A fast-moving band of very intense rain and wind is moving from west to east across the metro. It's still raining in West Louisville, but East Louisville is seeing very, very heavy, exceptional rainfall rates for February. In fact, I want to show them to you right now. We'll query the map here. You can see the rainfall rate at 4 inches per hour. If it were to rain that long, that would be catastrophic, but this line is moving very quickly. You will pick up a quick ½ inch to 1.5 inches of rain with this band on top of the 2 to 4 inches of rain that fell earlier this evening, causing numerous problems around the city. Farther south, more very heavy rain and wind. A little gap in the heaviest of the weather from just south of Rough River to near Munfordville, but this band coming out of southern Kentucky has the potential to be severe as it moves toward Greensburg and Columbia, where temperatures are around 70 degrees. Case in point, 69 in Columbia, 60 in Louisville. There's the strong band of weather. More rain behind it than it does dry out, and that drier air will move in later on tonight. Futurecast shows it well. That heavy band of storms in our easternmost counties by 12:30 a.m. There's your clock. But it is lessening up across our western counties, and overnight the rain will move out, and by morning cooler temps and drier air as we fall back into the low 40s across Kentuckiana. Here's the bottom line. Flooding is ongoing in many areas. Dennis is going to have that for you just after weather. Gusty winds are possible in the strongest of this activity tonight, and there could be a couple of isolated tornadoes across our southeasternmost counties. We'll be here until that threat of severe weather passes. But Holden, I do want to stress that it's best to stay home and heed the advice of local law enforcement if you're asked to evacuate, because flooding is something you do not mess with.
That's some sound advice, Jared. Thank you very much. And as Jared just mentioned, we have a number of flash flood warnings across our area, and we're hearing about a number of reports of water rescues across Kentuckiana. 11 at 11's Dennis Ting has been following the rising waters. He joins us now live near the flood waters, which are quickly rising downtown. Dennis?
Well, Holden, that river is rising right now. You can kind of see behind me, that's all flooded. That's supposed to be River Road here around downtown Louisville, all flooded. And the flash flooding isn't helping, especially when it comes to staying dry. We've been following the flooding around Kentuckiana today, and we've seen several roads closed, parking lots underwater, and flood water covering backyards and seeping into homes. Several people in neighborhoods prone to flooding say earlier tonight their backyards and streets looked like a river. Some homes even suffering heavy damage from the flooding.
My house has 5 foot approximately of water in the basement right now. It literally busts the back sliding glass doors down and it's filled the house completely with water.
And Douglas Taylor says he knew his house in the Hurstbourne subdivision was prone to flooding when he bought it about 2 years ago, but he says he had a plan to protect it from flood damage. He says he's been frustrated because he's worked with engineers and the state on building a retaining wall on the back of his home, but he hasn't received the green light from MSD to go forth with that project. And again, we continue to track these storms. Public safety officials say that people should try to stay indoors if they can. If you are out, avoid flooded areas. And again, if you are driving, don't drive into roads that have been flooded over if there are barriers or if you see water on there. Again, they say it's better to play it safe, turn around, don't drown. Send it back to you, Holden.
Thank you very much, Dennis. We're going to check back in with you in just a few minutes. The flooding is not just affecting us here in Kentucky, it's happening across the Midwest. Authorities are reporting a fatal drowning in southern Kentucky. One person drowned in a submerged vehicle in Simpson County, that's south of Bowling Green. Officials there are urging drivers to stay off the roads. And the rising waters are causing some backups on some of our area's major roadways. 11 at 11's Chris Williams is in Oldham County, showing how the rain has slowed I-71 to a crawl near Buckner.
I'm on Glenarm Road, and that is northbound traffic on 71, nearly a standstill. And if you take a look back here, you'll see that it's almost a standstill on the way into Buckner. I spoke to a police officer who said high water. They had some high water between mile marker 17 and 18 northbound. Earlier tonight, I saw high water about mile marker 16 before you got to the Buckner exit. In fact, there were some cars that were stalled out. The left lane was blocked northbound on 71 at that point. A lot of the problem is you don't see this water until you get right up on top of it. And the highway speeds, even with rain, and if you're slowed down, you don't see that water until it's too late. So be careful. They have emergency crews out tonight trying to get people safely up I-71. You can see the southbound lanes are going pretty well, but you'll see emergency crews out. Give them some space. Give a little bit of extra time, because they're going to need it. It could be a dangerous night out on the roads. Watch out for high water. In Oldham County, Chris Williams, WHAS 11 News.
MSD crews have been working nonstop to keep the flood damage to a minimum. All 16 of their pump stations are running, pumping out more than 11 billion gallons of water a day. 80 flood walls have been put up along the Ohio River. MSD says its flood protection system covers 230,000 people and 80,000 buildings. The MSD pumps will continue running nonstop until the flooding is over, which could be late next week. And people living along the Ohio River are among the worst hit, dealing with flood damages tonight, and residents in Carroll County are bracing for another long night. WHAS 11's Robert Bradfield gives us a look at the waterlogged county from the air and the ground.
Leanne Dunaway's Carroll County property is not supposed to look like this, but the rising Ohio River and nearby Eagle Creek have provided for a water view.
Affected a lot of family members, a lot of friends.
Her Happy Hollow home was spared, but some of her neighbors weren't so lucky. She says the water receded some, but viewer Mark Jefferson flew his drone over the area, capturing homes partially or completely flooded. And with more rain in the forecast, Dunaway is holding her breath that her home isn't next.
Hopefully it won't get as bad as it was last night, though.
Up the road in Carrollton, Point Park no longer resembles a park. County Emergency Management Director Ed Webb says 6 adults and 7 children were rescued from their homes Friday after he issued this voluntary evacuation.
Have gone door to door and handed out flyers with information that we provided to the general public, informing them of the situation that was coming.
He expects more evacuations in nearby Prestonville if heavy rain returns. While Point Park is overflowing with floodwaters, he says the worst of it may still be ahead. He's projecting these waters to rise another 4 feet.
We're expecting between now and Sunday night, we're expecting probably 1.5 to 2 more inches of rain.
For Dunaway, she's staying positive despite what could be another night of rising water and fears.
A little worried about it, but I think we'll be all right.
In Carroll County, Robert Bradfield, WHAS 11 News.
For more information on shelters open in our area, we have a link on our website at WHAS11.com. And our weather coverage does not stop here, as more flooding and severe weather is expected overnight. For the latest updates on flooding, weather, and road closures, head to our website, WHAS11.com, and download our free WHAS 11 app. And join us in the morning for Good Morning Kentuckiana, which begins at 6 a.m. The Kentucky Wildcats were at home tonight taking on Missouri and at full strength. Our Whitney Harding joins us now. And Whitney, Kevin Knox was in the starting lineup despite his name being a part of that Yahoo Sports story, which was released yesterday.
That's right, Holden. UK released a statement today saying with the information available, they really couldn't find any eligibility issues or rules violations. So play on. The 1978 national championship team was honored at halftime. What a game for these legends to see. First half we go. Kentucky, Dudley from 3. We haven't said that much this year. Quade Green drills one in transition. Cats up 2. Hamidou Diallo, though, beast in the first half. Just check it out right here. He had 11. Cats led 44-32 at the half. Second half, UK blowing it wide open. Kevin Knox, he gets the transition jam and led Kentucky with 21 points. And Jared Vanderbilt, each game just gets better and better. 11 points, 15 rebounds for him. Cats cruise 88-66. And coming up later in sports, we'll hear from the guys and Coach Cal on how they're just getting better each game.
Thank you very much, Whitney. Much more news and weather still ahead right here at 11. ESPN insider Jeff Goodman weighs in on the latest in the FBI investigation and a story that you'll only see on WHAS. And our Dennis Ting will join us again live with the latest on flash flood damage happening throughout the area.